Okay, good morning, everybody. Got a pretty interesting deck for today. So yesterday we did a deck tech from Spies. I think the username's a little bit different on this tapped out in the Twitch. Like it's Spies and then some numbers. It's a Spizer and then tapped out. But we've had a soft spot for Soulherder decks on this channel, definitely pre-Image 2 and post-Image 2. It's been like I don't think I've had outside of Kiki Chord, a deck that played Soulherder since Modern Horizons 2, but before it was a card I was really into, played a lot of different variants. And the main reason why I stopped playing Soulherder decks was that I didn't really think that there was a good reason to play a banned Soulherder deck or a 4-color Soulherder deck, and not just have that deck immediately turn into 4-color Omnath. Every time I started to build the more traditional Soulherder strategies, I would kind of devolve into 4-color Omnath. And then Spies submitted this list yesterday, which had Collected Company as the reason to not be 4-color Omnath. Coco into Eternal Witness Soulherder for just tons of value. Seemed very interesting to me. The list that he submitted, I did think needed some work, and I was pretty excited to work on it. I didn't like Inquisitor Exarch or Skyclave very much. I think you wanted to be more in on the Time Warp combo, so I'm playing 2 Time Warps main, 1 Time Warp side. I think this 3rd Time Warp's going to be really good against 4-color Omnath in particular, but you can bring it in a variety of matchups too, I think. Again, the combo here is either Soulherder or Ephemerate plus Eternal Witness and a Time Warp gives you infinite turns, and that's going to be kind of your main win condition as your accruing value. You're eventually going to be drawing towards your infinite turn combo, I think, in most decks, or most games. The mana needed some rework. I added Noble Hierarch to the main deck. And then I'm also playing Glasspool Mimic to give the deck a density of Collected Company hits. That was a really big issue I feel like this list had. Was it was playing 4 Solitudes main, I'm playing 3 main, 1 side, and we have 27 Collected Company hits, which is kind of the bare minimum. You can maybe get away with 26 sometimes if all your hits are really premium. I would like to have 28. I was playing around yesterday when I was playtesting with 3 Deputy, 3 Solitude. I really wanted the 3rd Solitude. I think this is going to be okay with the 3rd Deputy in the sideboard too. I'm pretty excited. This was pretty sweet. It's going to be a good stream, I think. Fast with 20 months. Explode with the 10. Reeval with the 24. Happy 2 years. Suik with the 3. Thank you. Good morning to everybody. I really missed casting Soulherder. I didn't do as much playtesting last night as I would have hoped for a stream like this. But I feel for a Friday stream and with how sweet the list is, it's going to be okay. Okay, this is a Wall of Omens, not an Ephemerate. I'm going to keep this hand. How's this deck win after it gets infinite turns? Yeah, good question. We'll figure it out. Didn't you get forward? Did it? Oh, no. Oh, let's see what we missed out on. I think you're right that it did. Oh, yeah, it has this one. This one's okay. The angle's a bit weird. Okay, it's average Friday, average Friday modern stream. My opponent has Serum Powdered. Oh, I guess they're just playing the Prison Tron list. I mean, I really am not a big fan of Serum Powder in this deck though. I can't front. I feel like the deck would be a lot better without it. Okay, have the wonderful Wall of Omens Soulherder curve. Time Warp feels like an interesting choice in a Coco deck. What's the thought behind Time Warp? It's your win condition. The idea is Time Warp is going to be infinite combo with Eternal Witness and either Soulherder or Ephemerate. You got to win the game somehow, and it is, I think, easily the best way to win the game in this deck. It also, I think without the Time Warps, you're probably, really bad against 4-color. I think with them, you have, I think, just probably a totally solid game plan against them. Okay, my opponent is going to have Tron on turn 3. We'll see what the damage is. That's true. If I should talk a deck, I will inevitably lose to it. Why no Uro? Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, pre-image 2, I got 2nd and back-to-back challenges with this Bant Ephemerate control list with Uro. It was awesome. Okay, I do have plenty of outs to... Oh, I have some outs to bridge with Deputy of Detention. Oh, there we go. Immediately finding it. Do I even go for the Deputy here? I kind of feel like I'm wanting to dig for a Time Warp. guess what's nice about Deputy is I can Glasspool mimic another Deputy. I also get to trigger the Soulherder. I'll go ahead and, I guess I shouldn't have fetched, but I'll go ahead and do this. I could have drawn Ephemerate off the Soulherder trigger. And I'll just make sure I get the Spellskite out of here. Can't they reject a Spellskite? Yeah, but I can Glasspool mimic, copy the Deputy next turn to get the bridge. What's my hot take on new basics? I think they look good. I don't know. I feel like I don't have any hot takes on any basics just because I think in a lot of ways, like, the collecting aspect of Magic is a big part of self-expression, and if you like the new basics, that's great. If you don't like them, that's fine. Don't really have strong feelings either way. Okay, just playing an expedition map. I think I do just want to... I guess I should play around in Dismember a little bit by not playing the Glasspool Mimic here. This is a unique deck or something normally play. This is a unique deck. It's kind of reminiscent of like strategies I used to play a lot of back before Modern Horizons 2. But this is the first time I'm streaming it. It's a brand new list. It's inspired by a user submitted deck from yesterday. It was a really cool idea. Needed some work. Put some work in. I'm pretty hyped. That's basically all what I like to do on the channel is try new things, do a lot of brewing. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to brew new stuff like this and like the Esper deck every single day. So a lot of times we do like just a little tweaking and revisiting some old ideas, but we try to try to break it every day. My opponent says he's too powerful, concedes. All right, 1-0 for Soulherder. It was great to win game 1. We get to bring in 2 Collector Ouphes and 2 Knight of Autumns. This is probably gonna be a matchup where I'm interested in the 3rd Time Warp. I think I want to cut my endurances. I know that they have some creatures, but I don't think I'm too worried about them with Ice-Fang and deputies in the deck. This is going to give me 30 hits for Coco, so it should be plenty. Could maybe cut a wall pretty easily. Might be a good matchup to play Meddling Mage also. Might be a good matchup to play Meddling Mage. I could see doing something like -1 wall, -1 Hierarch, 2 Mage. Tick for Cody. In Small Mountain with the 10 months. Thank you. My wallet can't take much more of these sweet decks. I'll get a second job. Okay, is it mid-range and Pioneer? So of course, back when I was playing a lot of Pioneer, I was spending tons and tons of time working on various is it decks. I think like they're all pretty good. I don't like Brazen Borrower. I've never felt like that card is like good in Pioneer. It's like a card that I think lines up a bit better in like Legacy specifically, where bouncing like Marriott Lage tokens and like bouncing Ensnaring Bridge is like super duper relevant. I think like the younger the format is, the worse Brazen Borrower is, with the exception of Standard. I don't think that I like main decking these Anger of the Gods, although I'm not sure exactly what the metagame looks like at the moment in Pioneer. So I haven't been playing very much of it. I will say that I think that Strangle is better than Play with Fire. Just killing a Ledger Shredder on turn 2 is really, really important, and killing a Narset's important. Killing a Karn the Great Creator that minuses is important. There's a few other really, really notable 3 toughness creatures that like Strangle hits that Play with Fire doesn't. I would definitely be interested in playing the 4th thing over the Borrower if you're going to want to play Reckless Rage. You really need to have like a little bit of a higher density of cards that like actually work with this card, I think. This hand's a bit slow on the draw with no Hierarch, but no Collector Ouphe. Maybe I should mulligan. I have no sideboard cards, no ramp. I did cut a Hierarch. Maybe if I'm going to be like really unhappy to see a Hierarch in my opening hand, I shouldn't have trimmed one though. Although this hand looks pretty good. It feels a little bit bad to put back a Coco, but I think we just keep the 2-3-4 curve. Yeah, I think maybe you're playing just a little bit too much creature removal. At the very least, I would probably not play the Spikefield Hazard and the Anger of the Gods. Like the 10 1-mana removal spells, I imagine are enough. I don't know that you also need to be playing all these other ones. Do you have Natty Tron? I think I'm going to Meddling Mage Karn the Great Creator. New camera? I think it's just cloudy outside. I usually have like a little bit of natural light behind the... There's a ring light here and there's some natural light there. So I think it's just cloudy for the first time in a long time. I will also say that I'm not sure that this is... I think that this version is probably not as good as like just Phoenix. Like Phoenix's late game of like the time... The Netitron. Phoenix's like time warp plan I think is very good, and it's been a deck I've always been really impressed by, and I feel like it has a better game plan than like just like play Thing in the Ice, play Crackling Drake, have a lot of creature removal. I could be wrong, obviously, but that's just, you know, my take, I guess. Interesting draw. Gonna get a Temple Garden here. Take that Mystic Forge and hope. Does this mean CFB is getting a Soulherder primer that isn't 2 years old? It does mean that if this deck ends up being, you know, good enough for CFB. Right now, so I just finished my Esper Ephemerate Reanimator guide, and then I think I wanted to do the Gruul Prowess guide, but I'm like a little bit torn because I am thinking that it's better to play Underworld Breach than Thrasta, but I'm not like done with the list, so maybe I'll do something else instead this week. So one counter on the Ballista. I started building to Phoenix, but couldn't find Trispass in time. I think this list will be fine then. I don't think it'll be bad, just like not like quite as good, you know. But it'll be fine. Okay, so my opponent is going to presumably kill my Deputy of Detention end of turn. So I guess what I do, because it's really bad if they don't kill it end of turn. Oh no, if I cast Deputy then target. I was thinking if I cast Deputy they'll respond to me casting. But no, they'll just respond to the target, then they'll get their forge back. So I have to pass. Don't like it very much. That wasn't serious, by the way. Yeah, I'm just engaging with it, I guess. But I also really like the archetype. I'm hopeful for it. Still no fourth land. I think I just have to block. I think I'm taking too much damage if I don't. Some number of Treasure Cruise. Cruise is better. Just wait for Cruise. Like, especially in your deck that's just full of fair cards and has a lot of selection with Ledger Shredder. I think the Cruise is gonna be better. I don't think that you need to play really overthink it or anything. Okay, if I draw a land, I get to go. Okay, so they're pinging. Yeah, I just can't effectively Ephemerate. Although, no, I should Ephemerate, because Ephemerate kills the Walking Ballista. Ephemerate kills the Ballista. Otherwise, the Ballista stays alive. Harold, 20 months, and all win cons. Thank you for the 7. Appreciate you. Still working on Mono Black Coffers. Finally got LGS. Definitely needs more reps. Murktide got me twice. Feel like it should be a good matchup. Yeah, it's a fine matchup, I'd say. You know, I think that Coffers has like a relatively flat matchup spread, to be honest. Which a lot of people like, a lot of people don't like. Good luck to you. Okay, so we can snipe the Mystic Forge. Hope my opponent doesn't have too much action after this. Hopefully we can find a fourth land and just start slamming Cocos. Think Shredder has any potential in Coco decks? I don't think it's likely to have much potential, since Ledger Shredder like often relies on you having a super low mana curve with lots of like 0 mana spells, 1 mana spells. I don't think it's a deck that like really incentivizes you for having the kind of curve a Collected Company deck does. I could be wrong, like there's maybe like a weird way to build it, but that's like the hurdle to jump through. Okay, they put the Blast Zone on 2, which of course implies that they're going to, you know, main phase pop Meddling Mage and then get a Karn. Any new adjustments to Esper Cookbook? Play last night, got wrecked by Tron and Mill. Yeah, those are bad matchups. Tron is like your worst matchup by a lot. You can sideboard Fulminated Mage and you lose important sideboard cards for other matchups. My best advice is good luck, and like when you play Esper Food, you are trying to target a metagame of like 4-color Omnath, Murktide, Hammer Time, Living End, Burn, maybe Rhinos, maybe not Rhinos, but you're like not trying to play against Karn the Great Creator decks, especially Tron. The only update to the deck, though, is I wanted to cut the 3rd Bone Shards from the sideboard for the first Darkslick Shores, so against Murktide and Grixis Shadow, I can side up 2 Urza Sagas. How do you go about 4-color Delirium decks versus other 4-color decks? So my head tells me that the more traditional versions are better, but my experience has like definitely, in my experience, the like 4-color Delirium decks get Delirium super consistently and quickly in a way that I just don't understand how they do. And maybe those are better. Okay, Witness Ice-Fang. What are we getting back? We have another Coco in our hand. I think I'm probably just getting Ephemerate. Just easy. I think easy Ephemerate, actually. Ooh, Collector Ouphe. Not too bad. So we can kill Karn. We can go kill Karn. Let me do that first. I'm definitely killing Karn. And then I can, like, Ephemerate Deputy of Detention, get rid of the Mystic Forge, cast Collector Ouphe. I can Soulherder the Deputy of Detention, get rid of the Mystic Forge, let them have the Expedition map. But then there's also, like, you know, no Collector Ouphe in play. I think I just have to get the Ouphe in play. Like, turning off the map's not that relevant, but it turns off Ballista, it turns off a huge chunk of their deck. Oh, my opponent was not supposed to tap there, right? Because now they just go to... I guess they want to keep... They think they keep their Forge in play, but now they go to 6 and I just have lethal next turn. Potentially. Eldrazi Temple... Torpor... Oh, we're playing against a Torpor Orb deck! We have to win this game. Fuck. I don't have a Besage You. I don't have any ETBs. I don't have any Hierarchs in play. There's a Hierarch. I get the competition for Time Warp. Could you swap the for Eldarmor's Call to be more toolboxy? I cannot imagine playing this deck without the Time Warp plan. I would not be interested at all in playing without the Time Warp plan. I'm just dead. Rough game 1, match number 1 with Bant Ephemerate. We play against a deck that isn't even like just trying to Karn for Torpor Orb, just has it in the deck. Game 1, brutal. All right. Yeah, but yeah, I think the Time Warp plan, like, it's your win condition. If you play like Eldarmor's Call over Time Warp, you are going to have a really hard time closing out games. Your 4-color matchup goes to from probably pretty good to probably, like, terrible. You lack the ability to close out games, like, in any meaningful, quick way. I think you just have to play the Time Warps. I'm, like, way closer to playing a 3rd than cutting the 2nd. I have 2 main, 1 side. Hey, nerds, how's it going? Welcome back. 9 months. Why not play Meddling Mage named Karn? I did. They killed it. I literally did that game. So I can play Mimic, Ice-Fang. I do have Time Warp, Eternal Witness. Kind of light on lands. I don't have Collector Ouphe. I don't have Hierarch. I don't have... I think I'm a mulligan. Okay, this hand has Collector Ouphe and Hierarch. Love this hand. Go put back a fetch. Maybe you need a couple Besage in the deck. I think Besage is really rough on the mana base. I hate sideboarding Besage in decks that don't have Wrenn and 6. Like, it's almost never correct to sideboard Besage in a deck that doesn't have Wrenn and 6. That being said, I think a damage is more relevant than... That being said, like... This is like always the habit of like deck builders too, to like Oh, this deck's really, really weak to Torp Orb. How are we going to hedge the deck to be better against Torp Orb? We're playing against freaking Prison-Tron. It's a really uncommon deck. It's one of, like, the very... Like, you're going to see Torp Orb in, like, 1% of your games, maybe. Maybe 2%. If you're really unlucky. I just don't think it's super realistic to, like, warp the deck around Torp Orb, especially when you're still going to lose to it most of the time anyways. And Boseiju makes the mana base a lot worse. You could play one over, like, second Hallowed Fountain specifically. But I'm just, like... I just hate this, too. It's my first match of the deck, and we're like, let's change it to be better against Torp Orb. It's just so inevitable. Okay, we can witness back our Coco. I was hoping to hit a Knight of Autumn, kill the Urza Saga. Yeah, just 5 Torp Orb decks in a row. They do have land number 3. Soulherder, Wall of Omens, not too bad. Oh, we did draw Ephemerate, that's nuts. So if they make a Saga token, it's a 4/4. I think I just attack with Ice-Fang. And then I think I'm supposed to be digging for Time Warp. I can Coco next turn if I want to. I'll just flicker. Does one Boseiju really make your mana base that much worse? What are you cutting for the Boseiju? Because, like, if you're cutting a basic forest for a Boseiju, then all of a sudden you have your ratio of fetch lands to fetchable targets is off. You're an Ice-Fang Coatl deck, so playing a Boseiju over basic forest means that when you draw Boseiju over basic forest, you're not gonna have Death Touch on your Ice-Fang. If you cut the Hallowed Fountain for the second Hallowed Fountain for Boseiju, which you could do, you have some worse curves. It's just like, again, it's not impossible to build a deck this way, but it does make the mana base worse. Alright, just gotta find one of our 3 Time Warps and we'll be golden. Yeah, just gonna main phase, I think, Ephemerate looking for one of the Time Warps. Did not find it. I don't want to Coco, obviously, into the Grafdigger's Cage, though. Don't quite have an attack with my Soulherder. So I think we just get in for 2 with the Ice-Fang, play a second Soulherder, hold up some mana here. Don't want to see an Urza's Tower here. You can recur Boseiju with Ewit. That is a good point. That is a good point. But again, if I was gonna sideboard a artifact and enchantment spell, I could recur with Ewit. I don't know if it's Boseiju. I guess Boseiju's better against Tron, but like Nature's Claim is like so much better against like every other, one of these type of decks, right? I want Boseiju as an uncounterable spell instead of a land. In matchups that Boseiju is good, the fact that it's uncounterable doesn't matter at all. Like, I don't know what matchup like Boseiju being uncounterable matters against what deck with counter spells is that relevant in? Okay, what are we doing here? Can't Coco. I really just kind of want to find a answer to the Ballista and kill them. I think I'm like somewhat likely to be able to do so. Okay, they just conceded? They weren't dead on board, I just missed it. Belcher and Song. Belcher and Song. Yeah, okay, those are both 2 relevant spots, although... Yeah, those are 2 relevant spots. Why can't I Coco? They have Grafdigger's Cage stopping it. we're gonna keep this. Probably gonna play Mimic tap turn 1. We'll see. I did see the Rakdos Charbelcher deck. It was pretty cool. I don't know. I didn't see it in action. I do think it's the Diamond line is really cool, but I do think it's a really big problem to like take Belcher, a deck that dodges like Prismatic Ending, Fatal Push, Solitude, Fury, Lightning Bolt, and then all of a sudden give those decks a really good target for that card or those cards by playing your Diamond Lion. Why not just Liberator? Liberator doesn't have an enter the battlefields effect, so like we're playing 4 Soulherder, 4 Ephemerate. I think that the ability to flicker Night of Autumn is more relevant, and then I have Collector Ouphe in the deck, like partially as a hedge against Tron. Is like kind of why they're there. Obviously, relevant deck game. Were we mean Diamond Line a while ago? I mean, the card is still really bad. I mean, but Mingu has found a shell where it's not embarrassing. Definitely one of the worst Modern Horizons 2 rares. Okay, we're up against Creativity. Nice to have a Solitude in the hand, I guess. I bring it in first Hammer Time. Yeah, you bring it in. Of course you bring it. You bring it in. It's not like 2 mana win the game, but it's good against a pretty big range of their draws. What utility lands you suggest if you can't afford doing the Bugbear and Rock? I suggest playing. I know this is also like expensive, but if you have more fetch lands, I recommend like playing the second basic Swamp and playing like 8 fetch lands. You can also consider if you have. This is something I have done in the past. I did it before Ragavan was printed, but I did play some like red-black mid-range decks with Witch's Cottage to that, and like I was recurring Seasoned Pyromancer and Lightning Skelemental with Witch's Cottage. And I kind of think that maybe recurring Turok with Witch's Cottage, like Turok, maybe not Ragavan so much, but recurring Turok specifically with Witch's Cottage seems so freaking sick. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like crack the case on like what a list like that would look like. Okay, opponent finally stops tanking in my upkeep. Play this tapped. But yeah, I have obviously the Witch's Cottage deck has been like really, really sweet and awesome, and I'm hyped about it at least. I don't know if everybody is. But I'm gonna try not to get too lost in the sauce with cabin brews. I think I want to play 1 cabin for sure in mono black Golos Coffers. And then I'm gonna be looking for like a more mid-rangey list playing it. I'm doing well, Spike. How are you doing? How many hits for Coco? Gauge driven in 12 months. It's 27 hits, which I think is like the minimum. Not the minimum. Gonna Ice-Fang this turn so I can save Solitude for or Wall of Omens for Solitude. My opponent knowing about the Solitude does make this a bit worse, I guess. Dwarven Mine and Rakdos Sack. It's kind of great. I don't know. Maybe even a little too deep. I'm going to play 1 Cottage in the Unearthed decks I've been brewing. So as far as like the Jund Unearthed deck, like the Coco one, I don't think that the mana supports it like how it is. It would be really good in the deck, like Witch's Cottage back a Grist, Witch's Cottage back a Spyro. But you know, one really nice thing about the Reanimator deck is like your base black. Playing Witch's Cottage in a deck that has... Oh, this is... Sorry. Is this right? This is right. This. Playing Witch's Cottage in a deck that has red and green 1-drop seems really, really bad. And I don't know that there's like a good way to reconcile that either, you know. Should Yawgmoth be playing a Witch's Cottage? Probably not. Like you'd have to like not play Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor is like It's the only good Dryad Arbor deck. We need to keep a good Dryad Arbor deck in the format. Your filter lands are really good. Like how and like playing Witch's Cottage means that you have a more painful mana base, right? And Yawgmoth is a deck that wants its mana to be as painless as possible. In my experience. I think I can. Now that I've drawn another white card, I can just cycle this wall. Gives me another creature to sacrifice, I guess. Ephemerate's really nice. This means I'm just an Eternal Witness away from comboing potentially. Maybe a few more mana too. It's a thought though. It's a thought. I definitely really I like Witch's Cottage a lot. I think the card's like powerful. Has it, you know, the fact that it makes you have a lot of swamps instead of a lot of islands is like largely why it's not as good as Mystic Sanctuary. But I think the card does have a ton of potential. Maybe I should have just played Hierarch Attack with 1. But this turn, I kind of like the idea of going the Deputy, hit the Goblin, Shaman token, Hierarch, hold up Ephemerate, and Ephemerate can hit even the Treasure token in response to a Creativity, which is nice. Mr. Sari, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good day. Hope you've been doing well. Yeah. With Mystic Sanctuary is like so convenient that you already wanted to play a million islands because you wanted to play Archmage's Charm. You wanted to play Counterspell. So you want to play Cryptic Command. That dynamic is just, you know, pretty different. Robot Strong, hell yeah, they are. Mega Treasure token, loot. So this is what it's like when the Creativity deck can't draw Creativity. Although they might be able to persist Archon this turn. How does Reanimator stack up against the Shredder Murktide deck? I'm currently like 7-2 against Murktide. I wouldn't expect that to like stay. I wouldn't expect it to stay like that good of a record necessarily, but it's been going well. Jupiter Cabin Shape Anew. The problem is like there's just not a good artifact to Shape Anew into. I know that Cherry Man, very good streamer, was trying to break that back in the day. Okay, it's pretty obvious I have the Ephemerate with this pause. I think I do want to cast it. Maybe it's better to draw a card. I did feel like getting rid of the treasure is kind of good though. Probably on the second one I'll draw a card. Not sure. Well, that's the best draw though. Although I guess I don't have enough mana to Time Warp, to Eternal Witness, Time Warp, and Ephemerate. I can just Time Warp. But then I can go Solitude the Crab token and attack for lethal. Gonna revisit Invert of Truth. I'm still working on it. I liked our first draft we had, and then I remember like I was talking about how I liked that first draft we had, and then I wanted to try with Tainted Indulgence in a different version, and I feel like Tainted Indulgence doesn't quite fit as well as I want it to, but there is another card that I think is kind of interesting in the shell that I'm thinking about. Okay, so Solitude on the Crab token should work, but I think that I'm just instead going to take Infinite Turns because it's clear that I have no disruption. I'm not sure. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I can get the Time Warp back to my hand, but I can't play it immediately. Well, a little bit of a mistake, but I guess the good news is we probably still can't ever lose here. Here, let me just go and get back Ephemerate, and then I guess we hold the Ephemerate up to be able to answer a Creativity. Sorry, I missed lethal though. I was thinking I was just thinking I could cast the Time Warp immediately. So they have a Creativity X equals 2. And I'll Ephemerate in response, get rid of 1 token, and just win the game. I like the Esper Mentor list with Shredder and Shredder Mentor. I don't think it's the best deck in the format by any means, but it's very fun. You win games with it. If you like it, you know, a big part of Modern is, you know, self-expression and finding a deck that really speaks to you. And I do recommend, if that deck's speaking to you, to give it a go. Alright, GG, infinite turns. Okay, up a game against the Grixis Creative Reanimator deck. I think I'm interested in Meddling Mage, I'm interested in Endurance. I don't know how many Solitudes I want to play. I don't know how in on the Time Warp combo I can afford to be either. I think I can cut like 3 walls. I think I leave in 2 Deputy. I don't know if I want 3 Deputy. Deputy does seem pretty good. They have so many tokens, actually. We'll play the 3rd Deputy. I could maybe cut a Glasspool Mimic, because I'm right now on 30 hits for Collected Company. Maybe this is a matchup where you trim a Time Warp. I think 3 Solitude is a good number. So we can go down to 2 walls, and maybe we can go down to 3 Hierarchs. Maybe we can cut all the Mimics. I think we want to... Yeah, I guess it makes maybe more sense to cut a Mimic than a Hierarch. I'm not sure. Obviously still figuring out sideboard plans. Deck's been pretty good so far, though. Pretty fun, too. A Dukin, 12 months. Thank you. Let's keep this. What's on the mold of 6. Never mind getting Thoughtseize if your opponent molds them to play. Or almost never mind. I think Deputy of Detention, kind of like Mold Drifter, is a pretty... Oh, what a draw. Is a pretty good example of a card that was, like, not very playable pre-MH1, but I've actually liked this card so much more post-Modern Horizons 2, where it lines up really well against Urza Saga tokens, Rhino tokens, and then Murktide Regent. It's just kind of funny that it lines up well against, like, that specific range. Don't think I care that much about getting 1 damage in when I might be able to just fetch my Triome in this game. I want to main phase in case I draw a Hierarch. And if they do persist their Archon, it's not great. We get to sack Ice-Fang, discard a land, Solitude the Archon, and untap in Coco. Okay. What's my next Paper Modern event? My next Magic Paper tournament is limited. I don't know when the next Modern one would be. Okay. Don't mind Endurance shuffling an Archon away. Also gets to block the Goblin. Maybe you don't need 4 Unearth. It's my opinion that, like, Monastery Mentor isn't playable without the Unearths. Like, the card is just, like... It's very good when you Unearth it. It's really medium when you don't. I don't think you can, like, cut the Unearths. Yeah, this is my opinion. They discard an Archon. If they attack, they have a Creativity. But we're actually really not doing so bad against the Creativity, to be honest. Yeah, there's a... Yeah, the Esper Mentor Unearth deck, something we've worked on a lot. It's one of my mini pet decks. Legend Shredder was a big upgrade for it. It's actually the first deck I played Shredder in. Just like you always have to upgrade your pet decks. I haven't, I've had this list updated for a while with Thoughtseize and Drown Block. I just haven't returned to it, but this is the list. So they should target their treasure if they want to play around Solitude, which they do. So I'll sack my wall, discard my Windswept Heath. Untap. so we go Solitude, pitch Solitude. Ephemerate Solitude. And then I can either Meddling Mage something, or I can hold up Endurance for a Persist on the Archon. I think it's better to hold up the Endurance. Although maybe somewhat close. Is push better than any main because of instant speed for Mentor? Yes, this list is also Dimir splash white than it is true Esper, where if you look, the only white cards cost 3 mana, so it's like way easier to just play 4 Darkslick Shores, have black mana early for your 12 1-mana black spells, and then your Drown in the Locks Tainted Indulgences. Then if you play Ending is like awkward to need white and black mana on turn 1. You have some Ending in the sideboard for like Hammer Time. But I also think Push is like better than Ending in Modern right now anyways. It's like better against Omnath, it's better against Shredder, it's better against it's not even against Hammer. But even against Hammer. Cut feels way better than Path. We have 1 cut made, 1 side. Cut is so good. Do not put a freaking Path Exile on your Modern decks, chat. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, we chose incorrectly. Chose to play around Persist instead of Creativity 2, and we lose. Obviously, we can Solitude 1 of these. I think we're just gonna concede though. And go to game 3. Yeah, we have seen Persist out of them. Rin puts Ending way ahead of Push. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Can I pull up the updated Esper Ventrals again? You could rewind. I pulled it up for a while. Oh wait, did they take away the rewind feature actually? I was looking at this the other day. I think they took away rewind on Twitch. They had, I don't know if I think it maybe just went quietly away in the night. Play around Kaji was good because Persist was easy to play around with Ephemerate rebounds. I guess. They're also like more likely to have a Persist than than Creativity though. Think Drown is good to play 4? I mean, obviously I do, right? If I have 4 in the deck. But it's on the 61 card special. Is the wall split for my pitch cards? Yes. These strands could be any blue fetch in the Shredder deck? Yes. Okay, Thought seizes me on the draw. They're not mulliganing this time. Immediately taking Eternal Witness, which I guess makes sense. White on side night, kill Saga and artifact tokens. I don't know that they do so like very efficiently, you know what I mean? Like if my opponent plays a Saga and I have a Knight of Autumn, I kill a Saga, they still have the token. If I kill killing a treasure token is not that efficient for 3 mana either. I just don't think it's something you want to be doing for 3 mana in this matchup. My opponent's shocked and Steven, so they have Tainted Indulgence or Removal Spell. Just turn 3 Persist, and we're going to choose wrong with the Meddling Mage again. Turn 3 Persist not that common for this version, but obviously in their range. I can dig for a Endurance or Solitude or Deputy, I guess, but would definitely of all those options want Deputy the least. Let's just spike the Endurance off the Ephemerate. We have 4 of them. 48 cards in the deck. Okay, Brick City. Brick City, population me. If you read them on Persist, you can Ephemerate my Meddling Mage. So you lose so much value to do so, though. I think you just can't be that cowardly play, you know. Why not Ephemerate the Mage name Persist? I don't know. I think that you lose too much value to do that. I don't know. It kind of feels like I can't respond to them putting the Persist on the stack. Maybe you're right. I don't know. It's like it's a really hard line to take, though. Oh, my Ephemerate's exiled. Too bad. This was about as good a Coco hit as it gets, though, at least. Although this Deputy is definitely feeling pretty fragile. Ugh. They polymorph my Deputy of Detention. Interesting. So I have to hit another Deputy, I guess. Ice-Fang gives me other outs. I can also take. I can maybe, if I get really lucky, find a Solitude. So I think I go target this Soulherder, target here. Oh, I'm supposed to stack the triggers differently though. Okay, so I didn't find a Solitude. I'm putting 6 cards in the hand. Obviously feeling pretty dead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's like correct at all to like. Yeah, I think that like ephemerating the Meddling Mage is just wrong there. Like, I think maybe I'm supposed to like see that they shock in the Tainted Indulgence or shock in the land, and no, I was on the play. I was on the play, and I Meddling Mage before they shocked to the second land. I don't know, chat. Just make them have the persist, I think. No green mana, I have to mulligan. One's playing Giganta, so they're most likely playing Grixis Shadow. So I think I want to keep Endurance. I'm going to keep the Wall of Blossoms to blank potential Ragavands. Should be okay to get a basic forest here too. As Containment Priest in the board option. You can't play Containment Priest in your Ephemerate Soulherder Collected Company deck. You just like exile all your own creatures. Yeah, I think Creativity's biggest weakness is living ends. I don't know. I know the Steve thinks the matchup is super duper bad. I think the Grixis version is better, where you can like Tainted Indulgence your Archons into the yard. The Teamer version that he's playing is definitely a lot worse against it. The Drinky 21 months Archival right at the 4th. Thank you. What's that in this deck? Infinite Turns combo. That's the win conditions deck. Also gets to generate tons of value. Has lots of cheap interaction too. There's a lot going on. I did a deck tech at the beginning. I don't know what the command is. Doc's been doing a good job setting up deck techs at the beginning. Not sure if he's still in the chat. Oh no, I meant to get Hallowed Fountain here. Sorry. Well, hopefully just draw blue source. There we go. Easy. Basic island. Perfect mana. Okay. It's going to be pretty interesting if they take my Soulherder or my Endurance. Endurance very good against the Dragon Rage's Channeler. They might take Ephemerate too. Yeah, I miss Venser too. I don't think you can play it though. Could maybe sideboard a Venser. Why I decided to go with 60 cards instead of going RA mode. This deck is like already mono card advantage. It's a mono card advantage, which is crazy. And has a infinite turn combo as its win condition that you kind of want to draw a bit more consistently. Collecting Company is usually pretty weak in 80 card versions, and I think you want to maximize the power level of that card. And also, like, your sideboard is so much worse, because, like, in this deck, you can, like, Coco into your sideboard cards pretty efficiently. In your 80 card deck, you basically never get to do so. Is the plan against big mana just cheesing them with Time Warp? Yeah, you also have Meddling Mage against Titan, and, like, Collector Ouphe and Meddling Mage against Tron. But yeah, you are wanting to Time Warp combo them for sure. Let me I think I want a Wall of Omens instead of Ephemerate, right? Yeah. Because this way, if I draw a white source... Well, hold on, I guess it's not as relevant. Play my land though, pass back. They've got 3 cards in their hand. Kind of looks like Aether Vial might have a place here, so with Esper Vial and Legacy. You can play Aether Vial over Hierarch, but then your like density of Coco hits is way off. Yeah, your Coco hit rate is like I don't know how to play Coco or Vial in the deck and keep your Coco hits at 27, which is the minimum. Kind of annoying Croxa. Maybe some Glasspool Mimics. You already have 2 Glasspool Mimics. You'd have to play 2 more, which would make, I think, the deck worse. It would be something, though. Okay, so here we go. Eternal Witness. Pick up Solitude. Solitude, pitch Solitude, Ephemerate. Let them connive, though. Hierarch some medium Coco hits. Yes and no. Like, this deck is very mana hungry, so I think a lot of times, like, when you go Coco and you hit, like, Eternal Witness, Hierarch, you're really happy. You hit Soulherder, Hierarch, really happy. I would say this is maybe, like, the best deck to, like, hit a Hierarch in, because you're just so mana hungry. They know about this Ephemerate, right? Yeah, they do. What do I take if I expect a Shredder, Murktide meta? Blue-Eye Control or 4-color Omnath are the 2 best decks against Murktide. Have I played any more Gen Coco? I haven't. It's been kind of my backup deck all week. All week it's been my backup deck. It's my backup deck today too, so maybe we'll play some of it today. Am I still having success with 8th Mage's Touch deck? Yeah, we ended yesterday's stream at like... so I think I'm just going to target a wall. If they're not escaping Croak, so they very clearly have removal in hand. Can make them kill a wall instead of Eternal Witness or Solitude. Or not that would target Solitude here. Attack for 5. Bummer to draw a land. No Witch's Cottage in this deck. Yeah, we're currently 40 and 12. 40 and 12 with the Esper 8th Mage's Touch deck, which is like a little less than 77% win rate. Did the math through my article. Alright, this feels like the crucial turn. Have to top deck something right now. Coco, Soulherder, Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, all pretty nuts. Oh, maybe I should have got the Triumph though. Because like would cycle it if I drew it. Okay, we have a rebuy. 0 mana, draw a card. Alright, that is certainly on our list of nuts cards here. So we get to go Soulherder, Flicker Eternal Witness, Flicker the Solitude. And they get a bunch of counters on my Soulherder. And we make the Death Shadow not castable too. What a draw. Soulherder's out of Lightning Bolt range. Yeah, Infinite turns next turn too. But they should have something up because the turn that they Unholy Heated, they didn't put Giganta into their hand. That's GG. I mean, my opponent can have things. Their Grixis interactive, mono interaction. In fact, this is a matchup where I think I'm very likely to side out the Time Warps. Yeah, the 76.9% win rate, I rounded up to 77 in my article. Don't tell anybody. Fudging the numbers. Okay, dead Soulherder. I mean, I think I just have to target the Witness, right? Make him have it. Yikes. So if I target the wall, I'd have the Witness to copy. That's a good hit, though. I mean, this deck is just mono value. Grixis Shadow should be a really good matchup. Although they be ripping expressive iterations. They be ripping expressive iterations. How's the 4-color matchup? I'm of the opinion, I haven't tested it yet, but I'm of the opinion, oh, come on, damn it. It's not even a Thoughtseize, it's a Croxa. Okay, we still have lots of good top decks, I guess. Ooh. Okay. Wait, where's my expressive iteration? I think I can't attack. Need to be able to flicker the Solitude. Don't want to trade. Don't want to grow the Shadow. Llanowar Visionary is not a playable modern card, sorry. Do not recommend. Okay, we have tons of good top decks. Yeah, come back, Uro, please. This is the Banshee Warrior. It's a solid choice. I do, yeah. It's hard to finish games in paper though. Do you have any Power 9? No. I don't know. I come on, deck, please. I've never been in a situation in my life where I thought that buying Power 9 was a good use of my money, and I probably never will be, to be honest. It's I think there's basically always better things to do with your cash than buy Power 9. Okay, that was a really sad game. Just got outdrawn. I'm gonna cut the Time Warps, gonna bring in the rest of the Endurances. Though this should be a good matchup. Rest of the Endurances, 4th Solitude, no Deputy, both Forge-Tenders probably. Yeah, as soon as I do donation decks, so I'll be singing a different tune the very moment. Play 4 Horizon Canopy? No thanks. No thanks. Sword is great against all their removal. I mean, it's really good if you get to flicker something, but their removal is going to have targets anyways, you know what I mean? Forge-Tender helps blank some of it. You could trim one. You could definitely trim one. Yeah, this was a good enough deck to get a free donut deck. Power 9 is great. I mean, it's obviously great. I would love to have some, but I don't know. I would put the thousands of dollars into the house. I'd buy Esther or something. I don't know. It's too much money. Buy her a Mox. Just seems a lot of streamers have Power 9. Good for them. I've also been like very poor by like most of my life and like struggling to pay rent and bills and shit, so I'm, you know, not quite in the streamer buying Power 9 with my sub money yet. Not quite in that mindset. Right, let's play the Wall of Blossoms over the Ice-Fang. Just so easy for Ice-Fang to die here. Can't drown this, can't heat this, have to have push. Gotta be a pretty scary hand for them to see. They just snap off, take the Endurance. Or should they Eternal Witness? Easy pass here. They can't drown my Endurance if I go for it, so don't need to main phase it. I even make things maybe a little tricky for them, because they can't, like, now they can't, like, push my Wall of Blossoms, because then they get Delirium and they have to attack with Channeler. The old post-combat Channeler. And I fixed my hair and all of a sudden I'm just immediately blurry. Okay, there we go. Do you think any of the real cards are modern playable? I didn't look like that closely at them, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna Endurance for mana efficiency. I didn't look that closely at them. I did skim all of them. I didn't think any of them immediately looked modern playable. I'll give them all a once over. We still have like 2 months. Does he spike the way he saw the word for the classes? Yes. Yes. Okay, just gonna main phase it, Coco. Get some revenge for last game. Hopefully. I'm gonna break. Don't break, don't break, don't break. I'm sorry, I take it back. No confidence. Okay. Whew. Whew. I just get another Coco, right? Yeah, just bury him. Just bury him. Don't think I need to attack. I just like I win the long game every single time. Don't want to go the shadows. Eternal West is such a spike pet card. Yeah, I love this card, dude. Yeah, I know it's still blurry. I just have to like lean all close, and you can. Yeah. See, I didn't shave this morning. The Fireball Dragon looks possibly Pioneer playable. I kind of don't think that card's going to see any play. That's the kind of card that like would have been like really hype in Standard, like in 2012. I predict that it's going to see like no Standard Pioneer Modern play. It's very cool though. I like it a lot. I might play it in EDH. I think I take the Forge-Tender. No, I'll just get the Ice-Fang. Feel good about finding a land here. I can't attack the Kaito this turn, so I guess I'm passing. Just keep the Cocos coming. Although I think I'll actually get a land this turn. This is like the biggest sign of strength, is getting back land instead of Coco. But this lets me go Ice-Fang Coco next turn. Lexert, 5 months. Appreciate you. How often do I play EDH? I'm trying to get more into it. Right now, I play 0. I have a very, very casual EDH deck. Slinvada is my commander. But I'm trying to build a couple decks. I'm starting on my Magna EDH deck. I'm picking up some cards for it, and then there's a new card from the new set I want to build a commander around. I'm really excited. Hold on. This one is also like. This is like I can't remember the last time I saw a card. I'm like, yes, new commander. Jasmine of the Boreal 7. 3 mana, 2/4, tap for green white. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells with no abilities. No abilities. Vanilla creatures, baby. Let's freaking go. You play like a Collective Blessing, grow all the creatures. It's gonna be really sweet. Okay, let me send both endurances at this Kaito. Okay, so they're going to double block. They're going to double block this Endurance. Then I'm going to go Soulherder, Flicker. Oh, no, the Endurance is dead, so I can't Flicker it. I should have killed this Channeler. I can get back Endurance, pitch Endurance, kill the Channeler. I mean, I could just Ice-Fang the Channeler. Get another Coco. Oh, I'm not gonna play my land. I didn't play my land. Oops. What's the story of Collective Blessing? I played the card a lot in Standard, and I won a lot of games at my LGS. Like my formula was why didn't they attack the ninja token? My formula was all like 1 mana dorks in the format, like all 12 of them, and then I would play Collective Blessing. Then my mana dorks would be 4/4s. It was awesome. My first brew. Okay, game 3 on the draw. Let's go. Well, the stats have to be on a vanilla creature with no abilities would be playable in Modern. I think a 1 mana 3/3 that wasn't tied to land types like Wild Coatl is would be like playable in Modern. The Coatl is also like technically playable in Modern, just like maybe the rest of the support for like a Naya Zoo deck is not quite there. If I knew a land was in the top 2, I'd easy keep. We have Solitude, Ephemerate also. I'm gonna mulligan. 1 lander again. We have Plains Fortune this time. I'm gonna keep. Then let's put back. Take the Witness. How about trying Renegade Rallier? Rallier's kind of interesting. I like the thought. Coiling Oracle. I think Coiling Oracle is way worse than the Walls. Just like, I think it's way worse than the Walls. Blocks really poorly. I think I'm supposed to play my Hierarch here. It's never living though, but good draw. Is he 2 CMC vanilla creature, even remotely playable? That's pretty much Goyf. Goyf's best is long behind us. Goyf is a playable modern card. Goyf is like, you know, it's been a little bit while since Jund Saga was in the limelight, but like one of the main reasons Jund Saga was doing well last year was like Tarmogoyf was really well positioned. Like Tarmogoyf is really good in like the Unholy Heat metagames, particularly in my experience. Ooh, Hierarch is alive and well, baby. Okay, I think I'm gonna go Wall of Omens, Forge-Tender. I mean, Territorial Conflict is not playable, but Conflict is like not playable because of its like restrictions. I think like the fact you have to play like all these very painful mana base with like off-color triumphs and stuff. Like it's not a 2-mana 5/5 with abilities. It's like so it is, but it's like its abilities are downsides. And it dies to Dress Down. It dies to Blood Moon. I guess it doesn't die to Blood Moon. It goes 1/1. What's Blood Moon? But like if Kavu was just green-red 5/5 loots Exile's Graveyard with no downside, it's a modern staple. It's one of the best cards in the format. Yeah. Jund is also like a playable enough deck, right? Like what it got second to DreamHack. People it's more playable now than it's been. I can't even remember the last time Jund was like this playable. It's crazy. I just want to resolve my Ephemerate. Not the best deck in the room, but somewhat playable. I really think I'm just not supposed to be attacking aggressively in this matchup. They're a Shadow deck. I win the long game. Okay, no third land, 6 cards in hand. I don't know that they're gonna like. This is like the fight they want to pick. Okay, I'm really happy that this is the fight they're picking. This is a Double Masters full art Wall of Blossoms. It's been hot topic today. Ephemerate's obviously a really good draw. Oh, I'm supposed to get a green source. If my Hierarch dies, I can't Eternal Witness, but I also want to get Death Touch on my Ice-Fang. Well, I got Death Touch on Ice-Fang. I have Eternal Witness in hand. I guess they're like never killing Eternal Witness at this point in the game, though, right? Surely. Never say never, maybe. Okay. I don't think I respond. They did finally find their third land. Yeah, I'm intentionally not attacking them because of Death Shadow. It's my opinion that I have a big degree of inevitability in the late game in this matchup, and so I'm just not interested. I'm not winning an early game race. I just have to not grow the Shadow, I think. Another land. Although if they had a Shadow this turn, they could have cast it. Could be okay to attack right now. Yeah, this was a 1-land mulligan to 6. Gonna tap Steam Vents. I think I'm just gonna sack the Forge-Tender. I guess I should have let the Surveil resolve first. Alright, come on, Coco. Does the inconsistency of 80 cards from Yorion outweigh the benefits of Yorion? In my opinion, yes, easily yes. In this deck. Maybe easily is an exaggeration, but... this is a creature-based deck with lots of flicker effects. You could play Yorion. The thing, though, is if you play Yorion, you're, like... If you build this deck with Yorion, you're playing 4-color Omnath every single time. The deck melds and molds into 4-color Omnath every single time. That's how the deck has to be built if you're going to play a 4-color Flicker deck in Modern. The reason to play this deck instead is Collected Company, which is way better in a 60 card deck. Way better in a 60 card deck. And so I've been stuck on this like thought for like all of Modern Horizons 2 really. It's like, is there any reason to return to this banned Soulherder deck that I love so much, and play this instead of the 4-color Omnath variants? And the reason is Collected Company. I don't know if it's a good enough reason to for sure be better than 4-color Omnath, but in this build at least, I do think it's the way to go. Okay, life total is getting real low, Spider-Man. Mono Soulherders. I can't flicker the Ice-Fang twice, but I can flicker it once, flicker the Soulherder, get these up to 3/3. Hope they don't have Bolt in their deck. I'll try to block the Channeler though this turn. So that goes for 2 months. Not that that's still good. High praise, high praise. 3 cards in opponent's hand. Thoughts on Extraction Specialist? I would play Renegade Rallier over Extraction Specialist pretty easily. I think Renegade Rallier is interesting. I don't know exactly how I would make room for it, but I like the idea. Like I like that Rallier like accelerates really hard. It gets you to your Eternal Witness Time Warp plan a bit faster. You'd probably have to cut like Endurance though, and I think that the main deck Endurances are good. I missed a sub. Is it your sub, Crib Bros? 11 minutes ago. Thank you, Crib Bros, for the 21 months. Appreciate you. Or 31 months. 31 months. If you hold Predator in your step, can you resolve each Soulherder trigger separately? No. They both go on the stack at the same time. They both go on the stack at the same time. Whatever happened to stuff with possibility of this? Modern Horizons 2 happened, I think. Got 2 cards in their hand. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to start a toast. What a draw. This is 1 point short of lethal. Oh, do we go for it? Yeah, I think I like going for it. Okay, 2-1. Long matches so far. Pretty good matches, though. More PowerPoint.
Yeah.
What does the error message say?
You must open a dialogue. I was trying to insert a chart, and then it gives me a pop-up. And I can't even press escape and delete the pop-up.
Can you bring your laptop here?
You can't go over there?
Can you bring it here?
Ugh. I have to unplug it.
Delta Victor, 15 months. Appreciate you.
Can't do anything else.
So it says there's an open dialog box somewhere, but I don't see it. It says it's in Excel. You have so many tabs.
I'm working on all of
Yeah,
them.
I know. Here, sift through these Excel tabs and find your dialog box.
What is it?
The dialog box, the error message that pops up, that's a
Yeah.
dialog box. So one of them is open somewhere, and you have to find it and close it before you can open a different one.
The thing is that I was editing it in Excel, and I was editing it, and then I clicked edit in Excel, and then it popped up. That popped up, and so it had a dialog box, and then it closed it, and then now it's saying close the dialog box. It's like there is none. I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't see it either. It might be just best to save and restart.
Wait, I think it went away. Did it go away? Oh, it went away.
It went away?
Oh, I found it.
Good.
Oh, thank God. I don't know what was going on.
Good work, chat. We did that together. Probably should take the wall, right? Yeah, I said she had a lot of tabs open. It was like all PowerPoint, Excel, and she had just a lot of work open. She's not one of those 1 billion tabbers. Dude, this gives the extra counter to get through the wall if I can't even double block next turn. Am I sure I don't want to go back to ITL desk? I don't know. Okay, I definitely don't. I do know that, but like the helping people part, I never minded so much. I always liked talking to people. Everybody I worked with was really sweet. It was mostly the soul crushing. I don't know, like the paperwork and the management and the low pay and corporate bullshit that I didn't like. Probably double block here. It's like a wall to gain 4. Yeah, at least for me, like I worked with a bunch of like I worked for the administrators for the nursing department of a university. So like 90+% of my clientele were elderly women, who always had, like, for the most part, they had very brutal. I guess I have Hierarch. Seems like I need to prioritize getting another Hierarch down. It's just so bad if a Hierarch dies here. We'll fetch your basics games 2-3. So there's like 90+% elderly women. They almost always have pretty simple issues. They're always really sweet. One of them sewed me and my coworker like blankets for Christmas one year. It was really nice. Nothing but good things to say about them, to be honest. Probably not attacking. Ooh. Wait, they didn't kill a Hierarch? Okay. Guess I'm fine with that. Now they let me attack too. Getting scammed. Any tech support gore horror stories? Not really, I think. I had someone who had like a pretty like they had like a magnet on their PC that was like messing with it a little bit, like not like super seriously like fucking with it, but enough that it was like causing issues. Just like very like, I don't know. it was like not so powerful that it just fried the PC or anything. It's just kind of funny. Okay, I think we're gonna go block like this. Post 21 months, Aaron 7 months, maybe shoot you. Do we have enough mana to time warp and witness? We just have infinite turns. Let's go. I mean, this is what I really like about this build is like, oh wow, we just have infinite turns. Yeah, me too, Tyler. Thank you, Garen. Glad you liked the stream. Oh, cool. Infinite turns. I'm honestly, like, would be interested in trying to find, like, room for third time warp in the main, but I think that this is a fine way to build it, too. Could maybe have attacked first. No, I just don't want to attack into the Spara tokens, although the Exalted would make it fine, actually. I guess they could have a removal spell as their last card. But they don't, and we win. Let's go. Okay, so definitely gonna prioritize fetching basics. We have enough basics that I think we probably won't need to be too worried about a Blood Moon effect. Hopefully, famous last words. I definitely want these Forge-Tenders in against the Fury deck. Probably over the Deputies. Let me play one Deputy. I don't know how many Time Warps I want. I don't know how many Solitudes I want. I don't know how many Endurances I want. I don't think Endurances are that good. They're okay. It's really hard to, like, Endurance Rebounding Grief because they just take the Endurance first. This is maybe just fine. I don't have my Rakdos scam sideboard plan mapped out. Let me get some water too. How did they cast Terminate through Blood Moon? They had a swamp. They just tap a swamp, tap a mountain, cast Terminate. Am I playing this weekend? No. Got plans. I don't know if killing Hierarch was right. Soulherder gets big draws cards. Well, I think they were supposed to kill a Hierarch before I cast the Soulherder. Maybe not. I would still have had. I would have been able to cast the Soulherder anyways. But if I have a Blood Moon in play, my opponent has 2 Hierarchs. I'm like just killing a Hierarch every time there. Sandy with 2 months. Appreciate you. Where's our mono blue Golas deck? We are playing that next. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. 2 tap lands, no ability to get basics. But we are playing a matchup where it is tough to mulligan in. Whatever, I'll keep it. Famous last words, maybe. They're also like, I don't know how in on Blood Moon they are. There's a good chance they have like maybe 1 Blood Moon main, 2 side, or like 2 main, 1 side. They maybe even have sided some out. Oh boy. They still have this card in the format? They still got this card. Alright, don't worry, our walls will blank that for sure. I figured out Gingerbread Cabin with Golos. I mean, in the mono black Reanimator deck, I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if this is like, is it something much different than that? Can I help you with something small but important? Maybe. Maybe. I'll concede to a turn 2 Blood Moon. I won't even take a draw step. Oh, Gingerbread Cabin Golos. I was thinking Witch's Cottage for some reason. Okay, Knight's Whisper. Not too scary. Alright, so let's go Island Ice-Fang this turn. Yeah, why do you want to play Gingerbread Cabin with Golos? Golos also doesn't like get those cards untapped either. Yeah, excited for it, Leo. For anyone who plays Bant Flash, Mid-Range Brew, Spellcaller, Teferi, Stoneforge, playing Endless Detour. Can I get your evaluation of that card? Endless Detour is not a good modern card, in my opinion. 3-mana 1-for-1s that can't hit lands are usually not very playable, especially when your opponent has the control to, like, you know, just get it right back. That being said, like, Endless Detour is, like, a little bit interesting in combinations with Miracles, because you have, like, the ability to Endless Detour a Terminus to the top of your library. It's, like, not good enough, but it's, like, at least a little bit interesting. Dude, they killed their own Ragavan. They killed their own Ragavan instead of the Ice-Fang. Are they me? I feel like I'm the only one who would ever make a misclick like that. Dude, this is like, I don't mean to, like, not to rub it in. Not to rub it in, but this is like one of the most brutal misclicks I've ever seen on Magic Online. Just another Ragavan. Oh man. I think I'm playing a wall here. These Hierarchs are so stranded. Yeah, good job. Yeah, very, very commendable for them to keep playing it out. What happened? They missed on the Kolaghan's command, and they killed their own Ragavan instead of my Ice-Fang. I'm just gonna block here, I think. With the Wall of Omens in play, the Ragavan doesn't have too much value, so I think I'll just keep the Ice-Fang in play. Yeah, Friendly Fire. I've definitely missed before. I don't think I've ever missed that hard. Okay, Village Right sack the Ragavan. These poor monkeys. Is there any secret to getting paired against opponents who punt? Yeah, just Q-snipe me. The most effective way to get paired against an opponent who will punt is to Q-snipe a Sparring Spike. I think I've got enough value in my hand that I'm gonna Instead of hold up Ephemerate, just play a Hierarch. This maybe ends up biting me in the butt, but I think I'm on board. My hand's just all gas. I'm about to draw another card. But against Blood Moon too. Ephemerate my Noble to even it out. I don't know if that quite evens it out. Dauthi Voidwalker. It's gonna be pretty interesting against the Time Warp plan. Okay. Three cards in their hand. I don't know what they take. Probably not the Hierarch. They choose the Collected Company. You don't put your Wall of Omens in the deck to not block with them. At least I don't. So my opponent definitely doesn't have a removal spell, I guess, right? Although we just get to beat a removal spell even if they have one by not casting anything else this turn. I guess I was maybe supposed to do this end of turn. Oh no, I was supposed to play the Hierarch. I was supposed to play the other Hierarch, sorry. It's okay. Or was I supposed to go Solitude, the Voidwalker? No, they get into life, Okay, whatever. We're 3-1. Losing a pretty brutal game to creativity. Pretty excited about how the deck's going so far. Okay, like this hand. Good enough for a keep. Likely to lead on Glasspool Mimic turn 1 this game. We'll see what we draw though. If we draw a land, maybe I'll hold it. It's not the same opponent, is it? Okay, no. Okay, this draw definitely makes me want to just get a forest, play a Hierarch on turn 1, obviously. I've seen a surprising number of people chump block a turn 1 Ragavan with a Hierarch. Just take the hit, chat. Just take the hit. You know who you are. They hit Ice-Fang. They're unlikely to be able to play it. Unless, if they're Jund, they can play it, maybe. Oh, they are Jund. They're playing Ren and 6 to kill my Hierarch instead. Not good. Bad, some might say. No, my wall. Alright, getting Junded. Jund versus Bant's always a fun matchup, though. Thankfully, they can't cast the Witness. Although, I guess even if they could, they don't have necessarily a good target for it. They do play the terrifying 2/3 Tarmo. I'll play an Island Pass. Discard the Mimic. Just let the Inquisition resolve. This way I can still kill the Ragavan if they have instant speed removal or if they ping the Ice-Fang with Ren and 6. I guess not if they do both, though. Is Unified Will a hero sideboard card? That really, it's a card that really brings me back. So I guess that's all I'll say about that. I don't know. They take the Soulherder. So they haven't activated their Ren. I just have to trade here. Because if I Ephemerate, they ping, they hit me with Ragavan. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, they get their Catacombs back. Their hand is Catacombs Mystery card. Mystery card was a Nurturing Peatland. I feel like they maybe should have sacked and got back instead. Not that it matters very much. We have some good draws though. I think the best draw is probably just a forest this turn. A wall would be pretty good though. Okay, this is as good as a forest, I guess. Just gonna get a wall here. They plus, I'll discard the Hierarch. If they minus, so be it. The Liliana. If they minus the Rin, we Ephemerate. I think I'm probably gonna have to be trading Witness for Ragavan. Or maybe a block and Ephemerate is better. Block Ephemerate, get back Ice-Fang. Block Ephemerate, get back land. My life total is just not very high. They have 2 cards in their hand too. Both unknowns. I guess, yeah, I guess I need to just trade resources here, so I'll go... It's better to go to 5. I think it's better to go to take 3 and then not deny the Ragavan trigger. And if they kill the response here, it doesn't really matter, because they could kill the Witness anyways with the Rin and 6 ping. But it's just like trading with the Rin and 6 trigger, I think is fine. They really have Kolaghan's Command? Riveteer's Charm to make me sack. This is not a good play, I think. I just like, they could just minus the Rin and 6, keep the Riveteer's Charm in hand. I guess I would get a card back, but I don't really know how relevant that is. Maybe a little relevant. Still super behind though. Interesting. Interesting. I think I have to play the wall. So if they minus the Liliana, then we go Endurance Ephemerate. 2, 3, 4. Kill the Tarmogoyf by Ephemerating both graveyards. Still very behind, probably not going to win. What's my thoughts on Golgari Food? The Golgari Food decks that are running around need to play. They need to play Ravenous Squirrel, but I also don't think the deck's amazing. I think it's worse than Esper Food, but it's cool. Cool deck. Oh, I guess I just blocked the Ragavan, so I just blocked the Ragavan. Take 0. Obviously, still in like really bad shape, but yeah, I could draw Coco. Could draw like wall. Even just one wall puts me in like not the worst position. We're trying to take the line to win, you know. Game 2. Probably not a terrible matchup though. I'm gonna cut the Hierarchs. I'm gonna bring in the Forge-Tenders. Maybe you can play 1 Hierarch, but we'll see. I feel like I don't want these Deputy of Detentions either. 3 Solitude seems like an okay number. I'll probably bring in the extra copies of Endurance. Maybe on the play I'm playing 2 Hierarchs. I don't think I want 3rd Time Warp. I don't think I want 4th Solitude. Yeah, I guess I do have to play a couple of these. One advantage of the Yorion version may be better. Again, there's not a Yorion version of this deck. There is, and it's one of the best decks in format. It's 4-color Omnath. I don't think you can support Collected Company in a Yorion version of the deck, and I think that if you start to build the Flicker Shell as an 80-card version in Modern, it is just 4-color Omnath. It's a variant of it, whatever variant you want, but like this deck doesn't exist as an 80-card deck in my opinion. Like I don't think you can really make Coco a good card or like a good game plan of 60 cards. The idea of like Cocoing into your sideboard cards in the 80-card version just isn't a plan either. Why can't you support Collected Company in a Yorion deck? It's just not a good strategy, you know what I mean? Where like, when you play Collected Company, you're making considerable deck building restrictions to play a huge density of 1 and 3 mana creatures to have Collected Company be a super powerful card. When you play an 80-card deck and you're just not going to draw Collected Company that often, there's not a point to building the deck this way if you're not going to draw Collected Company as often. You should just build the 4-color flicker deck like, the existing Omnath decks. Whatever flavor of that you like, but that's what and this is the issue, right? This is the issue with Bant's, Soulherder, Eternal Witness, Time Warp Flicker, is I've tried to build this deck like a dozen times since MH2, looking for a reason to play this kind of version instead of 4-color Omnath. Is there a competitive reason to like build it like this? And like I couldn't figure it out until yesterday. Spy submitted this deck with Coco. I'm like, yeah, this would be a reason. This would be the reason. Okay, I'm going to just get back a land here. Is this deck better than 4-color Omnath? Probably not, but that's what we do on the channel, is do some exploring. I don't think it matters too much. I still like the idea of Extraction Specialist. I mean, Renegade Rallier would seem so much better than Extraction Specialist to me. Like, I feel like you would largely just want to get back fetch lands and ramp into your like Eternal Witness combo. I think that's an interesting idea, but you would probably have to cut endurances for them. Yeah, it's what we do on the channel. Play worse decks than 4-color Omnath. Yeah. Yeah. RCQ coming up, stuck between choosing 4-color list or Grixis Shadow. I'm not familiar with Sag Galax 4-color list. I think both. I think that in paper RCQs though, 4-color just seems like such a freaky good choice, because in paper there's like a huge like Jund is like a meta deck in paper in a way that it's just not a Magic Online. And I think I'm getting Temple Garden. I could maybe prioritize getting a basic though. I could just get a forest. That kind of go Fortune or Hayek. Yeah, like Jund is a deck in paper. People play a huge amount of Murktide, Hammer Time, blue-white control, Jund in paper. I think 4-color is just a good choice. And and it's just also not going to change either. Like, people are just still going to play like those decks at paper RCQs for the rest of this season. Never play a deck that has a bad 4-color matchup in a tournament that I care about. Would I ever? Yes. Like there's the timeline where I would play Murktide at a tournament. I would play like Murktide is a deck I'd be pretty likely to play, where it's not favored against Omnath. It's got a bad matchup, but is totally capable of winning, and it's a really good game against most other things. But yeah, there's always a timeline, right? Yeah, people also play like more disproportionately tribal decks too. Bull Drift over Time Warp. You can't play creatures that don't get hit by Coco that are card advantage. No, don't cut Time Warp. Do not cut Time Warp, chat. I know I'm yelling all day today, but you can't cut Time Warp from this deck. Time Warp is your win condition. This is like the reason. Another big reason to play this deck is your like turbo Time Warp combo to some extent. If you cut the Time Warps, you can never beat 4-color. If you cut the Time Warps from this deck, your matchup against 4-color goes from pretty good to like completely miserable. You probably are never winning, which is a bad dynamic. You'll just dirtle forever and ever and ever and ever. Wait, they're bolting when they have explosives on one in play? I could just like get to trade my Forge-Tender? If you cut the Time Warp set, you'd just dirtle forever, never be able to win the game. How does EE see Glasspool clones? Mana values, oh dude, and Fury, oh dang. Mana value is a copyable trait, so you can, so whatever the Glasspool Mimic is copying, it has the same mana value, so right now it's 3. Goodbye. Sweet board. If the opponent has no cards in their hand, I still have a ton of gas. We're doing alright. I'll actually play this Soulherder here. Is it worth maybe going Spellqueller sideboard? So Spellqueller is definitely not the kind of card I like to usually have in the sideboard. Spellqueller is a kind of card that is sort of generically good against spells, is like a somewhat reasonable game 1 threat, but isn't particularly good against any deck in the sideboard. It's like okay against Cascade. There are way better cards against Cascade, like Meddling Mage, Drannith Magistrate, Flusterstorm. You don't want to side in Spellqueller against decks that put spells with mana value 4 or less on the stack, because they're just always a more efficient sideboard card for those kind of things. In theory, Spellqueller is a fine main deck card, but in practice, it's not. The card is also like just not really playable, and unfortunately, I know it's one of those hero cards. Spellqueller is like kind of what we like to call this channel hero cards, like Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino's like Electrolyze, Kolaghan's Command to a lesser extent, although that one is kind of playable, is good. But like cards that you really want to be good, they're really fun to play. People like Spellqueller. They have fond memories of Spellqueller. It's been playable in Modern in the past, kind of. But I think it's one of those cards that is really out of touch, out of time these days. Time Warp is in your side. Yeah, Time Warp is a combo with Eternal Witness and either Soulherder or Ephemerate. It's your win condition. It's very powerful. I'm even like interested in like playing a third, to be honest. Curse You, Rin and 6. Is Toski a hero card? Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, the original hero card. Oh, sorry, I meant to get a forest. Just always used to fetching islands all the time. Hollow Notes references made my day and have inspired the creation of the best playlists. Dude, Hollow Notes are great. They're so good. I actually got introduced to Hollow Notes from the Happy Hob. I rated him yesterday. But there's a boss in Demon Souls called Maneater. And he would play Maneater by Hollow Notes on his stream, like on the run to go fight them. But then he got like copyrighted, or got worried about copyright, so we started to have to play it by ourselves. But that was my first exposure to them. I really am a big fan. What was the Modern meta before MH2? No ranting or anything. Just due to Modern. I feel like there's a great area from in 20 to 2019 Modern. Yeah, there's like definitely like a lot of, I think, revisionist history to some extent, where before Modern Horizons 2, it was changing and evolving a lot, just kind of in the same way MH2 was a big change and evolution. Right before Modern Horizons 2, the metagame was defined by Blue-Red Prowess and Green-White Heliod, with several other like Tier 2 decks that were kind of well-positioned in the metagame defined by those Tier 1 decks. Briefly before that, there was an era where Wizards messed up, and they had some unintended interactions where you could cascade into Tybalt's Trickery and Valky and just like win the game immediately. There's like 2 weeks of nonsense that was pretty gnarly. I think I'm just gonna hold up the Coco here. 2 weeks of like unintended nonsense that was pretty awkward. Maybe like a month or a little bit longer than that. And then like before Call Time printed, like Uro Field of the Dead was a very format defining card. Uro was legal for a long time before it was banned. But there was also like you had like a little bit of a break from Uro back during the companion metagame. During the companion metagame, you had a break from Uro. Back in the original way the companions worked. I forgot about the companion metagame. It just always been in a state of change. Modern was definitely not like this defined environment that was like super cohesive or anything before MH2. MH2 was just another evolution. Okay. This turn I think I'm gonna go Solitude, pitch Solitude. I guess I'm gonna Soulherder first, of course, so that I can get extra counter on the Soulherder. Then play Ice-Fang. Yeah, before we had Eldraine. You had like really so with Modern Horizons 1, you had the Hogak era for like way too long, way too long. Then they banned Faithless Looting, unbanned Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, I was Mystic Forest again. They all look the same. The border. And then you had the broken artifact deck with Oko, Astrolabe, Urza, Mystic Sanctuary. Before Modern Horizons 1, I'm trying to remember exactly what it looked like, because I started streaming like the week of Modern Horizons 1 being released. Was like my very first stream. I was playing this green-red Prowess deck with like Dreadhorde Arcanist and Scale Up. That was really fun. And then like I started playing Jund with Ren and 6 a lot. And you know how I answer like the same questions every day. Like the first question that I got every day over and over again is Ren and 6 really worth it in Jund? I got asked it like a dozen times a stream, every stream at the very beginning. But I definitely look back at that. Oh, dude, Crime Punishment for 3? Dang. I definitely look at that era with fondness, of course. But that was the first question I had to answer over and over again. Okay, so Ephemerate, Time Warp. Is it worth it? Yes. The answer was yes. And people keep playing Dark Confidants into my Red and 6s. I kept minusing. I think against the discard deck, I'm just gonna Time Warp here. Just gonna Time Warp. Get my hand empty. Maybe we just draw into Coco. Eternal Witness, Soulherder. Yes, please. Yeah. I think I get back a Soulherder first. I just concede. Okay, 4-1ing our first league. 4-1ing our first league. Actually, a really good showing for the deck. I think a lot of times, too, it's like, how does the deck feel? The deck's feeling good so far. Obviously, there's some changes we're still talking about making. But I think right now I'm just going to run it back. Maybe make a change for next league.